Hi, I'm Dr. Joe Kort. I'm founder and director and a psychotherapist at the Center for Relationship Health in Royal Oak, Michigan, which is right outside Detroit. And today I'm going to talk about whether your husband is gay, straight, or bi, or whether you, as the husband, think and wonder whether you're straight, gay, or bi. But what I'm going to do in terms of talking about this today is helping respond to the comments that I get over and over and over. There are several repeated comments that I get from people under my videos. I'm big on TikTok. I'm on Instagram. On my social media, people are constantly arguing with me about straight men who have sex with men. They're not gay. They're not bi. They're straight men who have sex with men. And here's what I always say. When a woman has one non-heterosexual thought, she's fetishized. When a man has one non-heterosexual thought, he's stigmatized. Both are problematic. And what I want to do is dismantle this whole belief system that if a person has sex with somebody, that defines their orientation. So that's probably the first of the comments that I get under my videos, which is, if they're engaged in sex with this gender or that gender, then they're either gay, straight, or bi. That doesn't allow for the nuances that occur from the idea that when somebody is having sex with somebody else, it's not always about that person. It's not always about an attraction to that person. Sometimes for some people, in different situations, it's about what we're going to do. It's about the kink or the fetish that we might be engaging in. It might be about we both are in a fluid situation where in this context, something happens and spark between us, and we both decide that we're going to engage in some kind of sexual contact, but the gender is secondary, if at all, on there. Primary is the fact that we're going to engage in this behavior that I want to do. So when I talk about straight men who have sex with men, and I say, listen, there are some men that enjoy receiving backdoor action, anal sex, but they don't want, they would prefer it actually with their female partners, but their female partners either think that's too gay, don't want to do it, have shame around it, have a disgust response. So the man, straight guy, will end up turning to other men, primarily gay men, who are willing to be sexual with them in that way. The straight guy's not thinking, oh my God, this guy's so hot that's doing this to me. He's thinking, it's so hot that I'm having it done to me, that this is being done to me. It's an opportunity for me to be maybe submissive. It's an opportunity for me to have my prostate massaged. And so many people say, well, what does that mean? Every male has a prostate, and many men find massaging that prostate, we call it the P spot, can be very arousing, can make your orgasm much stronger. So your prostate can be massaged by your finger, using a sex toy, and it can be aroused by having penetration. But that doesn't mean you're gay. I always say your anus doesn't have a sexual orientation. It doesn't know whether it's gay, straight, or bi, but everybody in the comments loves to say if you are getting anal sex and you're a man and it's by a man, then you're gay, or at least bi. Some people think, wait a minute, no, just even the act of having a woman do it to you is gay. Again, doesn't allow for the nuance that some men just enjoy the pleasure of being penetrated, and they prefer a woman to do it. That would arouse them even more. But they're willing to let a man do it because they like to be penetrated. Another big comment I get all the time is, Joe Kort, and by the way, this is in Reddit threads, and you'll see it in under my videos. Joe Kort, you're keeping gay and bi men closeted. You're saying these men are straight. They're not straight. I thought I was straight, they'll say, until I realized I was gay. So they're superimposing their experience, and I get that experience. Many gay and bi men think they're straight first because we only teach children to understand that they're heterosexual, whether they are or not. Look at this whole Supreme Court overturning conversion therapy. So now we're allowing therapists to do what I call conversion therapy abuse, trying to teach somebody to go from gay to straight. No research solidifies this. No research reinforces this. It's impossible. So then these kids grow up thinking that they're straight. And you think, well, wait, how can they think they're straight if they're fantasizing about men and they're attracted to men? They think that's kink. They think that's like fetishy. They think it's just something in the erotic realm. It has nothing to do with their identity until they come out later. So then the men over time recognize, wait a minute, no, I'm really gay. Wait a minute, no, I'm really bi. Then they come out. So the men that make these comments are basically saying, so just because I went through this, that's what this guy is. He thinks he's straight, but he's not. He's where I was. He's not. The guy is only attracted to women. He's not attracted to men. The straight men who have sex with men that I'm talking about are only attracted to women. They don't find men appealing. And so because of that, they're never going to come out as gay. They're never going to come out as bi. And these men, by the way, because they go to therapists saying, you're probably gay or bi, or you wouldn't be having sex with men, these therapists are uninformed. So they have them read Joe Kort's books, right? And articles and watch his videos. And they come in holding my books and have read my book better than any gay guys ever read, any bi guys ever read my book, dog-eared, highlighted, written in. And they'll say, if I'm gay, help me be gay. But they know they're not, and they're not. Another comment I see online, and I do read my comments, so that's where all this is coming from. Somebody said, well, Joe Kort is saying that all gay and bi men are traumatized. That's what he's talking about. No. Well, by the way, I do talk about what I call covert cultural sexual abuse, that as growing up LGBT, we are sexualized as children. Adults are sexualizing us, whether it's, hey, you shouldn't allow a kid to express this. It's a sexual thing, or suppress your sexuality. So I do believe on a covert level, we are abused and maybe traumatized in that way. But no, I don't believe that we're sexually abused and that's what makes us gay ever. I have never said that. What I say is that many males who have been sexually abused end up reenacting that scenario that they had with that perpetrator with other adult men in their lives. So they return to the scene of the sexual crime. They're reenacting trauma. They're having trauma urges, not sexual urges. This isn't sexual attraction. This is trauma attraction, trauma bonding. If you read my books or you really read a 1,200 word article I've written, you'll be cleared. It'll be clear and clarified for you. But people don't do that. They just watch a minute video. They make a decision. They make up a whole narrative about what I meant. And they're wrong. Then I read another comment somewhere on Reddit and they said, oh, Joe Kort's making bank about what he's making over here, telling guys whether they're gay, straight, or bi. I never tell a guy or a woman or anybody what they are. People do that in the comment sections. They're the identity enforcers, the identity police. I would never do that. I have 4 questions that we start off with right away with all my male clients that are struggling with same-sex behavior but don't have same-sex attraction. That's important. Same-sex behavior doesn't immediately result in same-sex attraction. So the 4 questions are, did you notice it in childhood? Is there any youthful noticing? That's the first question I ask. Straight men who have sex with men always remember crushes and fantasies and attractions to women. 2, is there any homophobia? The straight men that come in my office that are having sex with men do not demonstrate any homophobia. The gay and bi men do that come into my office. And that's another comment I've gotten online is, well, Joe Kort's saying all the gay and bi men are coming in with all this homophobia. Well, if they're closeted, they're coming in with internalized homophobia. But these straight men having sex with men don't have internalized homophobia because you have to be gay or bi to have internalized homophobia. You've internalized the homophobia against yourself. These men haven't done that. They'll say, if I'm gay, help me be gay. The third question is the beach test. When you're on the beach, are you looking at men or women? Where do you find yourself looking? For me, I always say this, no offense to any woman, but I'm looking at the men. The women are in my way. And then finally, the final question is, who do you want to come home to? A straight man who has sex with men predominantly, if not always, says to me, I want to go home to a woman. I want to wake up next to a woman, not a man. Now, other comments from that are people will say, well, now you're saying that shows you they're in the closet. That's internalized homophobia. And it is true. If you're a gay guy or you're a bi guy, you can't imagine a life with a man. You can't imagine yourself in the gay culture because you're riddled with your own internalized homophobia. Once that settles down and you heal that and work that through, then you can imagine yourself with another man, a life with a man, and being in the gay and bi community. But that's not the case. That's not what's happening with these straight men. They want to come home and wake up next to a woman because they're attracted to women. If you like this and you want to hear more from me, click on subscribe. You can follow me on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. I'm all over the place. You can also come to my website, joekort.com, JOEKORT.com. And we'll talk again, but please put your stuff in the comments. I read them and let's talk. Let's have this dialogue.